Hello everyone! Today we are going to sew a water bottle holder so you can always keep some water close at hand in hot weather. The free pattern is available in the description of this video and it is designed to fit water bottles with a base measuring up to approximately 8 centimeters in diameter, which should work for most medium-sized water bottles. Once you've downloaded your pattern, I recommend printing only page 2 to begin with, so you can check that the test square measures exactly 5 centimeters on each side. As always, make sure you print using the custom scale setting at 100% or actual size, and for the orientation, select Auto so that your pattern is positioned in the center of the page. My test square measures exactly 5 centimeters on each side, so I can now print the following 2 pages. The first page is purely informative, so you don't have to print it, but I do strongly recommend reading it. Now let's talk about fabrics. For the outer fabric, I recommend something with a little structure, such as upholstery fabric or heavyweight cotton canvas. In any case, we'll be interfacing it, and you'll find the interfacing I use linked in the description of this video. For the lining, I recommend a simple cotton fabric, and finally for the strap, I chose a lovely thick gros grain ribbon, 25 millimeters wide. Now for a child's holder, 1 meter is enough. For adults, I recommend 1 meters 20 or even 30 if you'd like to wear it crossbody. I've cut the body and the base of my bottle holder from both the main fabric and the lining, and if I want to add interfacing, all I need to do now is remove the seam allowance included in the pattern pieces by cutting along the dotted lines. So to recap, for the body of our bottle holder we have the lining, the main fabric and the interfacing without seam allowances, and for the base we also have the lining, the main fabric and the interfacing without seam allowances. I recommend using this interfacing on your main fabric, but unfortunately my faux suede really doesn't tolerate the heat of an iron at all, so instead I'm going to interface my lining, which will still give the finished holder a little more structure. I turn my fabric to the wrong side and place the interfacing on top, adhesive side down, centering it as much as possible. Remember, it doesn't include seam allowances. Then I add a cotton pressing cloth and using a hot iron, press all the layers together little by little. Be careful, I'm pressing and not ironing back and forth. And of course, always follow the instructions provided with your own interfacing. Remember, you can interface the main fabric instead, or even all your pieces if the fabrics you've chosen aren't quite thick enough. Now place the body pattern piece on your main fabric and mark the 2 notches that will help us position the strap. I center one end of the strap over the first notch and pin the gros grain ribbon in place. Then I will do exactly the same thing with the other end, centering it over the second mark. I've made a mark on my gros grain ribbon 14 centimeters up from the bottom to help me stitch the straps neatly by a machine. A nice strong rectangle on each end of the strap will do the job perfectly. The steam from my iron removes the marks from my fabric pen, and if your fabric isn't quite as sensitive as mine, you can simply press it normally. Now I fold both my outer fabric and my lining right sides together, carefully matching the raw edges, and stitch with a 7 mm seam allowance before pressing the seams open using a sleeve board. Be careful with your fabric. My faux suede doesn't like heat, so I press it very quickly on medium heat, protected with 2 layers of cotton. Remember to always test on a scrap first. We're now going to attach our 2 round bases to the 2 tubes we've just created. To do this, we need to divide the circumference, in other words, the outside edge of our circle, into 4 equal sections. I fold it in half and mark the 2 folds with my scissors. Then I open the circle and bring those 2 marks together, which allows me to mark the other 2 quarter points, again using my scissors. We are going to do exactly the same thing around the bottom of the tube. Using the seam as our first reference point, we can find the 3 others. 2 of them should match the notches we marked earlier for the strap. I'm just going to mark them anyway. So we have one on this side and the other one on the opposite side. 1, 2, 3, 4 marks. You can probably guess what comes next. I'm going to match the marks on the base to the marks on the body, pinning them together 2 by 2, and then add a whole lot more pins to make sure the 2 circumferences match up nicely. At this stage, you'll need to work with the fabric. It may not be so happy to position itself properly, but don't let it make the decisions. Ease the fabric gradually between your marks, add as many pins as you need, and remember, you are the boss of your project. Before stitching the pieces together, I recommend making a few tiny snips, just a few millimeters deep, into the seam allowance at the bottom of the body. This will release some of the tension that has built up, and you'll see it makes quite a difference, especially with a thick fabric like mine. For the lining, since the cotton is much lighter, I don't think clipping is really necessary, but I'll leave that for you to decide. Now that everything has been assembled with pins, we can stitch our pieces together by machine, 7 millimeters from the edge, all the way around the base. If you're not completely confident, which I totally understand, you can hand baste the seam first with long stitches, remove the pins, then sew the base by machine. This isn't the easiest part of the project. Try to keep your stitching at a nice even distance from the edge and create the smoothest curve you possibly can. Now let's trim the seam allowances down to approximately 3 millimeters. Then we'll be ready to assemble the bottle holder and its lining. So I leave the outer piece wrong side out and push the straps inside. I turn the lining right side out and insert it into the bottle holder, right sides together. Add a few clips to keep the 2 edges perfectly aligned. We're going to stitch them together 7 millimeters from the edge, but before I do that, I'm also going to add 2 marks with a fabric pen about 8 to 10 centimeters apart. I won't stitch between these 2 marks because I'll need this opening to turn the bottle holder right side out. Unfortunately, the 3 arm on my sewing machine is too wide for me to slide this tube over it, so I'm going to stitch from the inside, as you can see, turning the tube manually as I sew and always keeping the 2 row edges perfectly aligned. That's the most important thing, and of course I won't forget to leave that little opening. So here we go. I slide my hand inside the bottle holder and pull out the lining. You can still see the opening here. This will allow us to turn both the lining and the main fabric right side out, which is exactly why I made the opening fairly wide. So let me speed this part up. Out comes the main fabric and out comes the lining, which can go straight back into its natural habitat, and everything will finally end up with the right side in the right place. A little more speed up. Take your time when you do this yourself. I simply don't want this video to become too long. We're going to position the lining as neatly as possible inside the bottle holder. Open out all the seams, flatten all the layers, smooth out anything that looks a little limp or wrinkled. And finally, we fold the edges of our opening towards the inside to close it. Then top stitch approximately 2 millimeters from the edge all the way around the top of the bottle holder. Also, make sure that the lining doesn't peek out above the outer fabric. You can now see me sewing our top stitching about 1.5 to 2 millimeters from the edge. The exact distance will depend on the thickness of the fabric you're using. The most important thing is to keep your stitching nice and even all the way around, and to slightly increase your stitch length if you're working with a thick faux leather or faux suede like mine. Also, I'm stitching in small sections, repositioning the fabric nice and flat every few centimeters. Be careful to keep the lining properly positioned underneath. It needs to be caught securely in the stitching. A few back stitches where you started, and we are finished. Yes, my friends, that is indeed the end of this tutorial. Bravo, well done, bye bye and à bientôt!